Nowadays, the pressure that social media places on people to look, feel and live their best is causing increased levels of depression and anxiety. Often the content you see online is a twisted skew of reality, which empowers these destructive effects without users even realising. This has also seeped into the corporate world through the over-glorification of achievement, leading many to think they are behind or failing. How does Lysa approach this problem?
Yeah, I mean, I call it the Instagram effect. So, and I think it goes, it's kind of permeated society much more broadly than just social media, but it starts with social media, which is everyone's portraying their best self, right? And that's not new to social media. I mean, for years people talk about the mask. You go to work, you've got your corporate mask on. So people always want to show their best side. Of course they do. But I think the proliferation of social media has made it such, a bit like, in the 80s when I was growing up, women can have it all. This perfect example of what life should be like sets people's expectations. And that's not fair because it isn't like that. And, I was celebrating a few years ago when there was a few Instagram influencers in the States that came out and said, this isn't real, people. That image you saw of me that was a casual shot on the beach actually took us 4 hours to set up. I didn't eat for 2 days before.
I'm holding my stomach in.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I was really applauding that because I thought, finally somebody's kind of breaking through and saying, this is not real. It's a facade. And that comes through into life as well, I think now. So, I was doing a talk at a women's lunch a few weeks back, and I talked about, I was talking about my career, and I was giving some examples of, working mum, how challenging that can be. And particularly, now I'm in a fortunate position that I don't have a boss that's kind of saying, got to be here at 9, got to leave at 5.
Micromanaged at all,
No, I can come and go kind of as I need to. But, in the younger days, I was expected to be in meetings and, as a junior person, I couldn't just go, oh, sorry, I'm not coming in for that. And that's hard. And I was trying to kind of get that across to the audience and say, I get it because I've been there. Yeah. And I told a story about, I told 2 stories. One about being in a meeting and realising I've got Weetabix all down my top because I've been feeding my daughter in the morning. Okay. And if you've ever fed a child Weetabix, it has this amazing ability. You wipe it off and it comes back.
Yeah. And he can't get it off. No. It spreads. Yeah.
And you think it's gone and then it comes back.
And it looks a bit like sick.
It's not nice. People don't know what it is. And they're like, what is that? So that was one story. And then the other story was I'd done a board presentation to the board. And I came out thinking, I nailed that. I actually nailed it. And I was really anxious about it. And I'd been in this board meeting, gesticulating and pointing to things. And I realised when I came out that I'd got a Heinz baby food label stuck to the underside of my sleeve. They would have remembered the
meeting.
So anyway, I told it as a funny story. But At the end, loads of the women came up to me and they said, oh, you are so normal. And I was like, well, what did you think I was going to be? Yeah. But they said people don't tell those stories. They talk about all their successes and all their achievements, and they don't talk about the stuff that went wrong.
Yeah, of course.
And, it wasn't a disaster, but, you have to laugh about these things. We're all human, right?
100%. Mm-hmm.